President Trump looking forward to his meeting with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un, but he's issued a warning. Roll tape.
If I think that it's a meeting that is not going to be fruitful, we're not going to go. If the meeting, when I'm there, is not fruitful, I will respectfully leave the meeting and we'll continue what we're doing or whatever it is that we'll continue, but something will happen.
Well, let's bring in a man who's been in the room when you have this kind of tough one-on-one negotiations. David Bossie is with us. He's the former Trump campaign deputy director, and he authored that book, Let Trump Be Trump. Can you take me inside the room, Kim Jong-un, President Trump, they're going at it. Is that how it's going to be?
No, I think this is going to be the first of maybe several meetings. I'm not a guy who believes in one and done. I think this president looks at a negotiation as a process. And I go back to what Reagan and Gorbachev did, whether it was their first meeting in Switzerland, which nothing came from, but they got to know each other in 1985. In 1986, they have Reykjavik, which Reagan historically is known as walking out of. And then they come back together a year later and they make a deal. This is what true leadership is, and that's what we are seeing here, in my opinion.
Can you ever see the day when the North Koreans say, OK, we're giving up our nukes and our missiles? I mean, they spent, what, 2 generations getting this together. Are they going to give it up?
2 generations of a continuous downhill slide for their economy, for their citizens. And I think that
they don't care so long as the Kim regime stays in power.
But clearly something has happened here recently, whether it's the Chinese influence or whether it's the world influence on them. Something seems to have changed for Kim Jong-un to want to come together. It seems just his agreement to sitting down is a major step. And I think that this president knows who Kim Jong-un is. He remembers Otto Warmbier. He remembers that poor kid that this rogue regime murdered, right? That's what they did. And we still have 3 Americans being held hostage in North Korea. So I think that hopefully what comes from this is maybe those 3 Americans are able to come home.
Do you think he'll be aggressive, our president, and lay the law down? Listen,
I don't think Kim Jong-un is going to leave that summit wondering where the president is on any number of issues. The president wants to denuclearize the peninsula. He wants to get the missile testing under control. And I think that there's a lot that we can do together if they truly, to your point, want to get rid of their nuclear program. If they are willing to do that, if they need fuel, if they need coal, gas, oil, gas, whatever it might be, if they need food for their people, I think this president's going to be open to making a great deal for the people of North Korea as well as the United States and the world if we can get rid of the nukes. And this is a big, big opportunity for the world.
But to sum it up, you think there might be more than one meeting? Might be a series of meetings?
I would fully expect it. I would fully expect it. And look, the geniuses over the last 25 years in Washington, D.C., the absolute professionals, the know-it-alls at Foggy Bottom have gotten it wrong with North Korea every minute of every day. We have to take a different tact, and that's what this president's doing.
Tough stuff, isn't it? Yeah, it's fascinating.
It's really good.
You know, David, I have to sit back like this when you're on the set because I feel you coming at me, for having to say. Mr. Bossie, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.